like to introduce the two candidates running for county executive, Adam Gitter and Joshua Schoen. We'll begin with opening remarks. Adam, you can go first.
Thanks, sir. And thank you to the West Bend Area Chamber and the public for coming out and those watching at home. It takes a lot of your effort to be informed when going to the polls, and I really appreciate you taking that time. And thanks to my family and my friends who helped me get to this point, especially to my wife, Lindsay. Thank you very much for all you've done. Currently, I serve as your Economic Development Manager for the City of West Bend. I'm a lifelong resident of this is my hometown, Washington County. I have a passion for public service. I served in the Army for 8 years and 1 tour in Afghanistan, where I was military police. That is why I see public safety as always being our #1 priority. I have board involvement throughout the county in Visit Washington County, our tourism arm, also economic development in Washington County. I also serve on the Downtown West Bend Association board and I'm the executive director of the BID board, our downtown business improvement district. My vision for the county includes having public safety, #1 priority. We're all going to say that, right? Eliminating the county park fee. You guys may have heard me say that once or twice. And sharing the sales tax. When we collaborate, we can go twice as far. And my vision, it empowers our municipalities. So as we move forward together, we can all go forward and we can go further as we work together.
Okay, thank you, Adam. Josh?
Thank you. Thank you, Kurt, for moderating today. Thank God for the opportunity to be here. Without him, I wouldn't be able to do anything. I'd like to thank the Chamber for hosting us, the city for giving us the venue. And thank Adam for being here today as well. And certainly to all of you for coming out and supporting us as candidates and your community at large. Finally, to the viewers at home, thank you for staying in tune with what's going on in your community. Your vote is very important. Voting in general is very important. It's the most important civic duty you can exercise, and we appreciate it. I love Washington County. I was born here. My wife Jody and I decided to raise our family here. Our church is here in Hartford, Peace Lutheran Church. My son Cale, who's sitting over there, is a sophomore at Hartford Union High School. My youngest son Drake, who's leaning over there, is a 6th grader at Richfield Middle School. For me, this is home. As a son of a Lutheran minister and a registered nurse, service to others and love your neighbor was something instilled at a very early age. My original plan was actually to become a high school social studies teacher and a wrestling coach. Probably more of a wrestling coach than a social studies teacher, to be honest. But then in my 3rd year at UW-Whitewater, I got a phone call from a sergeant letting me know that I was going to be deployed to Iraq and Kuwait as part of Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2003. I arrived in Kuwait in the first week of the war, and I was a member of the 147th Aviation Battalion, and we followed the 101st Airborne Division up to Baghdad. That experience changed my life forever. I saw firsthand people struggling without reliable electricity, plumbing, and food.
Josh,
Drinking
I
water
hate to
from
cut you off, but we need
puddles, and begging to eat MREs, meals ready to eat. I finished up at Northern Illinois University.
Josh, we need
and
to
served
cut
as
you off.
city
I'm sorry.
administrator in
but
Princeton
we're sticking to the 2-minute
and village
limit.
administrator of the Village of Richfield in the last 6.5 years.
Ready for the
as your
first question?
Administrator.
Okay, first question, we'll go to Josh. What is your philosophy on county land development and preserving open land?
This is a delicate balance. Over the course of the last several decades, Washington County has grown drastically. Over the course of the next decade and more, Washington County will continue to grow quite drastically. In recent months, the Cedar Creek farmers had a meeting and had a discussion about conservation and the importance of conservation to farming. which has been a strong part of our cultural heritage for a long time. Their number one priority was preserving farmland. It's something that the next county executive is going to have to be in tune with. Every development that happens in Washington County leads to more prosperity for all of us. But we need to be very sensitive and very careful about what that development looks like. Either we're going to manage development, or we're going to have development manage us. Over the course of the last 6.5 years, I've had the honor of serving on that EDWC board, Economic Development in Washington County. Even before that, while I was village administrator in Richfield, I served on that board. We put a lot of time and effort into economic development, including putting money into a revolving loan fund that we can recruit businesses to grow here in Washington County. It's an important part of what we want to do. And recently, we proposed to our Land Use and Planning Committee a revolving loan fund and a grant program that would expand the brownfield development grant, so that every development that happens on a site that was formerly a manufacturing facility or something of that variety can be reutilized. Because every time we have a development like that, that's one less cornfield we've got to tear up.
Thank you, Josh. Adam?
County land development and serving and preserving open land is something I've been a lot about too. It's really great. I've found out, serving as the economic development manager with the city, I've found out that you go to the farmers, they're your number one resource to find out the history of your county. And you listen to them and what their needs are. Also, when it comes to county land development, preserving open land, what's right for Richfield, and what's right for the town of West Bend, and what's right for the city of West Bend, and every municipality we have in this county, that it's not all right. No one is created equal. We look at each one individually, and then we go to their boards, and we work collaboratively with them, and we find out what they want, what they need, and how the county can be a resource for them.
Okay, thank you, Adam. Next question. How do we continue to market Washington County as a go-to county for businesses to find quality workers? Adam, you're first this time.
Well, marketing Washington County. Absolutely. So, how do we do that? I think we lean into the really great people, the great staff that we have at Washington County. And workers, yes, that is workforce. Somebody in the audience, I may have even heard him say that if we're going to talk about workforce, we might as well go jump in some quicksand while we do it, because it's going to be, well, it's going to have the same effect. It's difficult. That's a very difficult subject. One of the things I've done is I've leaned into MPTC. MPTC is one of the greatest resources we have in this county, and we should empower them. That's how we'll help fill our workforce gaps that may exist, and we'll also have those businesses that are coming in. They're going to know that that's where that we have the resources available for them to find their workforce. Also, at the same time, if the county should be at the table and talking to the schools and working with UWWC as a graduate myself, I like to think that they're pretty swell. And really working with all of those entities and the Workforce Alliance, which is something that I've already taken the initiative to jump on board with them and make sure the Workforce Alliance is empowered, and we keep this at the forefront of our mind for our businesses.
Okay, thank you, Adam. Josh?
So one of the key tenets of my campaign is maintaining the best quality of life in the state of Wisconsin. A few months ago, the Daily News wrote an article about a national report that identified Washington County as the best quality of life of all 72 counties in the state of Wisconsin. And so I think you need to start by asking yourself, why would people want to move here? Remove yourself as a resident from Washington County for a moment and think, if I lived in Anago, what would make me want to come to Washington County? If I lived in Alabama, what would make me want to come to Washington County? I think the answer is pretty obvious. We have a wonderfully safe community, and we're very close to urban center in the city of Milwaukee. In 25 minutes, you can get to a Brewers game. In 30 minutes, depending on the route you take, you can get to the airport. We have access to some phenomenal assets right here. The second thing that I think people really appreciate is the ability to have quality schools. But I'll tell you something, county government doesn't need to stick its nose into schools. I've been a school board president. I've served on a school board for 4 years. There's a reason that there's separation. There's important work that happens in the schools. A lot of you were sitting here when we heard school board members having really good debates about what schools will look like in West Bend for the next several decades. That's what they're elected for. For us, we need to stay focused on our priorities. First and foremost, public safety, quality roads, quality senior care services, and quality mental health services. We do the small things right, and people are going to want to live here.
Thank you. Third question. Josh, you'll be first on this one. In your experience, what is the key to developing a good team?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking. I've been an administrator for 13 years, and I've led a number of different organizations. I mentioned the school board a moment ago. I've been the president of a variety of nonprofit organizations, including recently the United Way of Washington County. Leadership is a tricky thing, but it starts with credibility. People have to trust you. They have to believe you. And you establish credibility by doing what you say you're going to do. Over the course of the last 6.5 years, I think we've done that. A few minutes ago, you listened to the mayoral candidates talk about what they see the vision for the city being. And one of the candidates talked about the importance of mission, vision, and values. I think it's exactly what starts the process of establishing credibility and building a good team. When people have a shared vision that they all buy into and are pulling in the same direction, that's when success starts. That's when you begin to see transformative change. And I think if you look at my record in the last 6.5 years, you'll see exactly that. And if you, like me, are excited for what's to come in the next 10 with Washington County, join the ride. It's going to be fun. Thank you.
Thanks, Josh. Adam?
Thanks. Yeah, good team. This is kind of a fun question. Well, when I was in the Army, I was a team leader, right? And what made that team great? I actually had this private in my team. His name was Private Ross, right? Mark Ross. And I'll drop his name on here. We're able to watch him somewhere. Anyway, we're at the range, and there's a schedule when you're out at the range in the Army, and he comes up and he used to be on my team, and he was on my team, got off my team. We're at the range. He's no longer on my team. He comes up to me and he says, "Gary, I didn't realize how important communication was. And when you were my team leader, I knew where I had to be at every minute of every day. And I knew exactly what was expected of me to perform the best while I'm here. He didn't have to worry about anything else. He knew just how to get the job done while he was out at the range. My leadership philosophy includes trust, communication, and teamwork. We should always be collaborative, and we should always put our trust in those around us. The reason we surround ourselves with people is certain people when we're doing our jobs is because we trust them. So I know that the employees, my team around me, know that I trust them.